And can you tell me how you met Dave?
I met him, how did I meet Dave?
Where did I meet Candy? That's a good question. That's a very personal question. I actually didn't meet her until several years into college when my roommate was brave enough to introduce me to his sister.
And I met him actually at the end of their sophomore year.
Candy and I had to make a decision about career, and I found my way back by signing on as an English teacher, coach, dormitory master at the Cranbrook School, and I became the financial aid director and then the director of admissions. We wanted to find a place that we really wanted to settle in for the long haul, and when I found my way to this beautiful campus in 1979, it was immediately very attractive. We have 3 kids. Our oldest is David, who was the class of '89, and our middle child is Katie, class of '91, and our youngest is Seth, class of 1994. Candy began unofficially as a school photographer by simply posting photographs in the case outside the headmaster's office. The photography then led to a yearbook responsibility. She was willing to fill the gap when we needed someone to help organize the attendance office. She even worked directly in my office when my former assistant was out on medical leave. So day in and day out, we coexisted together, both at home and in the student affairs office. It's to work by 8 in the morning unless I have breakfast sign in. If we're lucky, it's through the morning and off to a brief respite at lunch, sometimes with students, sometimes with my wife. More meetings, correspondence with parents. Things tend to be a little calmer in the afternoon when students are generally out on the athletic fields. I try to get around to see as much of the action as possible. And then it's on to dinner. If it's a formal dinner, it may be skeptics, it may be wandering, it may be a study hall duty, and most hopefully it's evenings without too many trips to the emergency room. And I remember a clever senior thought he was being extra clever by mimicking me on stage, and he thought that I had the particular inclination of wrapping myself around the podium, but I got him back at the next school meeting by doing a better impersonation of myself, at which point I had to be helped off stage because I had pulled a muscle in my back.
The Mr. Lowe in my memory is one center stage at school meeting.
Gripping the sides of the podium.
With his clipboard, his plaid shirt with like the DTL on the side.
And a baseball cap. Out there supporting all the Blair teams and cheering everyone on by name.
And I always hear him yelling, "Don't quit, keep your head up, just take one point at a time." So that's how I'm gonna take my last year at Blair without him, one step at a time.
We've spoken about who has affected me most positively at my time here, and he's really encouraging me to let those people know. And the thing is, probably the person who has affected me most positively is Mr. Lowe himself.
He was the only faculty member that I remembered the name of.
He goes out and buys me batteries for my calculator.
Really forcing me to talk to everyone at the table whether I liked it or not.
I meet him almost every single day because I always have something to talk about and whine about.
He listens to me vent about everything.
He can usually help with anything, but not always with Spanish.
The only thing that he couldn't help me with was the weather.
He's like my best friend teacher.
I'll definitely remember to proofread as if he was over my shoulder proofreading with me.
He's like been a father to me.
When I came to Blair Academy 22 years ago, I had an idea for what a good school should be. I didn't have all the clarity of how that vision could be achieved, but there was David Lowe. David Lowe was, for me, a master builder. Year after year in a rhythmic dance, David and I worked hard to make Blair the school it is today. So goodbye, David and Candy. The period in which you were here will always be honored by the great legacy which you sowed.
We are moving to our small house in Vermont.
We're going to spend a lot more time with family.
Traditions that we'll always remember include walking through the arch that bookends the beginning of the year and is matched at the end of the year by the senior class progressing through the arch down to baccalaureate, and the next day on to graduation.
Come on, skinny love, just let's see it. So pour a little salt we will never eat. My. Staring at the ceiling. malicious fashion, filled them with confetti so that when you had to pop them to get them out, your office was a mess. Congratulations, you know, you're finally out. No more kids.
And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And in the morning I'll be with you, and it will be a different kind. And I'm holding all the tickets, and you'll be owning all the fines. Come on, skin of love, what happened? Circled on the hope and leprosies. My, 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 my. Someone noticed food so slow on the street. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And in the morning I'll be with you, and it will be a different kind. And I'm holding all the tickets, and you'll be owning all the fines.